All right, careful. I know. Sideways, sideways, sideways. I wonder where the blindfolds are. I didn't find it.
There are other items available for keys. Colossal round typewriter keys stand in QWERTY order. Some are closer to the ground than others, and as if an unseen hand has pressed them. One final element of this installation is easily missed. Behind the typewriter keys are two wide steps leading to a closed
New
book.
Orleans thing. So who
Standing
that?
upright at 6 feet
Oh,
tall
wow.
and a foot deep, the center of the book is a hollowed-out square, allowing visitors to peek through. Okay. Thank you, Samantha, for the audio description.
Thank you.
One of the things that I really enjoy talking about when we take groups on tours is about public art and the role of public art in our cities. And this is a wonderful piece that memorializes the former publisher and editor of the Charlotte Observer, Rolf Neal. Rolf Neal was the longtime publisher of the Charlotte Observer. He passed away last year. And this is a wonderful way to sort of honor his memory and some of his writings. So as you may have surmised from the description, that all of these were tools of his trade, and they're rendered in a very lovely sculptural form. I want to ask Bree, when we talk about public art, what do we mean about public art, and what is its function in our everyday world, and how are we supposed to experience it a little bit?
Sure. So thanks, Samantha, for reminding me to do a visual description too.
Yes, we forgot that. There's so much going on.
Yes, and it's actually like a little bit quiet now. What a treat.
We're listening.
Yes.
Yes.
I am a Caucasian and Asian woman with like blonde-ish curly hair. Like Ann said earlier, I have on an emerald green dress and black boots. And I have a pretty prominent back tattoo, and that's how most people recognize me, I think. Is that they know this thing
Unless
that I
they're
have.
blind.
Unless they're blind. And sometimes it gets raised, and you can feel it too.
Oh, wow.
What Ann asked about public art. So public art is it's a simple term, but meaning like art for the public, right? So once you turn something over to like the public domain, it then becomes part of the public conversation and part of people's memories, part of people's placemaking, and that's something that's really special about it, and that's something that I've always really loved about my work, and then the work that I help to do with the festivals that we put on at Blumenthal is like, can you imagine creating a piece and then someone getting engaged under it, or this being something that people come and watch their kids play, and I've watched that happen with this piece here. So over to everybody's left, there are these keyboard keys that Samantha was describing earlier, and they're in the QWERTY layout, similar to an actual keyboard. And I've watched kids play almost like hopscotch or leapfrog, and they try to spell a word, and it's like it's really sweet just to like witness the level that people are just able to like relax a little bit around public art and help to create a memory. It's like an additional tool for people to enjoy themselves with, and this is something that I've always like really loved about this piece. And one thing that I want to notice often about public art is that it's about scale. So when we talk about the emotive quality of art, my emotive quality of my art is color. I love color. Color is just like one of my favorite things. Color makes me emotional. Sometimes people's emotive quality is light or texture. Annie's emotive quality of her work was repetition and energy, right? Like, and you can see that's what gets people interested and excited about it. Often, the mode of emotive quality for public art is scale. So this one really talks about that, and it's the way to allow the public to think about a regular thing in a different way. So these are very serious objects, pencils, keyboards, stamps, that you might not give a second look to, and they become playful objects because they're 100 times larger than life.
Oh, wow.
Cool. See, it's awesome when you have an artist here to add that value to the conversation and understanding of it. That was just wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So this is what we're trying to do here with what the Art Walk is about, is to sort of allow the accessibility of it to reach into a lot of different areas. So now we want to invite you to just take a minute and walk around with your guide, if you can, and touch some. We're not in the museum anymore. We're outdoors. It's lovely, and you can touch the art. Yes, and we want you to touch the art. We want you to walk around. So let us guide you if you have a particular interest in touching the pencils or the ear, which is right in front of me. We'll spend a few minutes, about 5 minutes here doing that. Oh, a question. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that tattoo, but the thing people want to know is what is it of? So why is that?
Yes.
Bruce wants you.
Okay,
What's up,
Bruce?
He's right here.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Joey.
What's up, man?
That's my wife, Joey. That's my wife's shirt.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
How are you? I've heard a lot about you. How do you put up with his crazy?
I don't know.
He's so funny.
I know. I heard a lot about you, too.
So funny. Hey, Cassidy.
Yes, ma'am. Did you have a question?
I like this. I like this one.
Sure. So the marble, there's lots of textures that you'll be able to feel when you're walking around. The marble with the rubber stamps is going to be very, very smooth and cold. There's very rough texture in the books. And then on the pencils, you'll get more of a smooth, but you'll get the indentations of the text that's on there. So make sure that you explore and try to get one of each of those, and ask us if you need some help doing that. Okay? All right, let's take a few minutes and walk around and grab your guide, and we will point you in the right direction. I'm going to bring you over here. I want you to sit there.
Let's go do my favorite part, touching stuff.
Yeah, careful. This is I don't know what I'm not a good artist. This is a ear lobe. Somebody took a piece of marble and put it on that ear lobe.
Oh, wow. That's a big ear.
Because these art things representative.
Oh, wow. And it's marble.
I like these are like keys or letters. They're key.
What is that?
Like an old typewriter. They have keys.
Oh, wow.
Type words. So what kids do, they get up on top of this, and they jump around to type words and stuff.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
All the way down. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, yeah. And then you're going to get to the point.
Are we going to the musical steps?
We're not making it to the musical building.
Interesting.
The one with the one at the station parking garage with the.
Listen, do you want me to show you this stuff?
I want you to show me. I was asking if we could go. Maybe me and you have to go.
This is like a stamp. Feel down there. That's the part at the top of it. And what you do with that, there's all kinds of things. Past due, you're fired.
You're fired.
Yeah. Approved, rejected. But anyway, that's what it feels like.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead and feel it. Somebody put it in my lid on that song. Why? I don't know.
An actual eyelid? Like a
whole eye. Go down some and feel it.
Oh. That's cool. That is cool. They have an ear and an eye. An eyeball.
Did you say hello to Joey? Your eyes.
Oh,
Your eyes are full. Did you put a lot of?
yeah.
Okay.
It is no joke.
All right.
Hey, Cassidy.
Yo, hey, Joey. Joey? I said Julie. Joey. I've been seeing so many names. Chewy.
Yes.
Hey, buddy.
Nice to see you.
Is this you, Joe?
Yes.
Have a
Nice
hug.
to see you, Cassidy.
Hi.
Wonderful to see you.
You too, brother.
Oh, okay.
I remember meeting you.
Yes.
Hi.
The MAB.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm Samantha.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. How are you? I forget your name. James? No?
Joey.
Joey, I got it. Thanks for coming
I'm the
back.
seeing eye daddy.
I can feel it. Yeah. My ears are vibrating.
Okay, so I'm giving you my elbow.
Yeah.
And guys, we'll start to go this way.
The music.
Stand here. Don't move. I'm going to make sure. We ready? Okay. Let me just make a quick announcement. Everyone, we're going to walk to our next piece. We're going to walk up this sidewalk in front of the Magnon to the corner. We're going to walk right along this side.
Mine's not super great. Hi.
How are you? Put your hand out, Joe.
What's
your name, sir?
I'm Zach.
Hi.
Zach?
Nice to meet you. Are you Joey?
Yes.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Joey.
You too. Thank
I'm
you.
the seeing eye daddy.
Ah,
Seeing eye daddy.
Yeah.
I call them sighties. It's okay.
I call them normies.
Perfect. Someone I know calls them eyeballs.
Oh,
We
you're a
had
funny man, Joe.
Yep.
Goodbye, Joe. Me oh my, me oh my oh. So it's Ashton. What's that? Cassidy's other sister.
Lexi.
Perfect. Hey, I got a birthday coming up, Joe, and I want you to get me a hat like Bruce, because I want to be that cool.
That's Joey's day.
You hear me? Be a hat or a fedora.
Hey, Joey,
Yeah?
you cool. You know that, don't you?
Huh?
Not as cool as you, bro.
Daddy. You got your dad with you, huh?
Yeah.
Wait till I get you.
I'm the seeing eye daddy, man.
Oh, okay.
What are they doing over there?
Cass, did Lexi finish school? Huh?
Yes.
In May? Wow.
We have everybody on the
Is she still playing hockey?
Oh, yes. We're going to go to the left. I'm here to
Like we got in it.
the light to
Yes,
change.
look at that.
Hi, Cassidy. Likewise.
We're going left to the crosswalk.
What are they doing over there?
Charlotte shot. There were some. There looks like some middle school girls or high school girls doing a routine.
Oh.
Or Annie and Max.
All right, guys.
crossing, okay?
We're crossing the street. We got 15 seconds.
Yep.
Sorry about that. All right, we're in.
Okay, we're gonna gather right here on the corner. Mary, I'm gonna leave you right here for a minute while I go up.
Here's Joey.
Hey.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, Robin.
Hey, how are ya?
Fabulous.
All right. Happy Saturday. And here's Miss Shirley.
Here's a bench.
Hey,
Joey,
Shirley.
how are you, Joey?
Wonderful.
Sit. You're welcome to sit right over
Do you want to
there.
sit?
Stand here on
No,
the
I'm
corner.
What? You want to sit?
I love standing.
I'm doing Rudy. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you again, man. We went to Joey and I first.
I think that
New Orleans.
and that's what we heard about all the places around us and all the sounds, and that's because of the festival, Charlotte Jazz that's going on. So it is a very, very active morning here, and we're grateful. It feels good.
Yeah.
We're standing here on the corner of 7th Street and Brevard, and we are actually pointing and sort of going to talk about a very old piece of architecture. In fact, somebody asked me about it when we were walking. And the piece of architecture is a house. And you might be thinking, we're in the middle of downtown. Why is there a house here? And that's because this used to be a residential area. So this particular piece has a little bit of a history to it. So, Samantha, tell us a little bit and give us that audio description so that we can know what we are sort of talking about.
Yes, ma'am. The title is Wall Home by Scott Nurkin in 2015. This is a poem printed onto the side of a brick building. This piece lives on the side of a 2-story brick building. It spans roughly 14 feet across and 22 feet high. The background is the natural exterior of wall of bricks of a deep reddish brown hue. The piece appears to be separated into 2 panels by a drain pipe which extends vertically from the top of the building down to the ground. This drain pipe is painted to match the color of the bricks. 3 boarded up windows punctuate the piece. 1 at the upper 2nd story level on the left of the drain pipe, and 2 on either story on the right. The left panel contains the title of the poem and the author's name, Bus Stop by Donald Justice, centered vertically and painted in white block letters. Below this text are 3 yellow painted fluted flowers, say that 3 times, with long, narrow yellow stems. The text of the poem is printed in a column of slightly smaller white block letters compared to the title and takes up almost all of the right panel. The poem begins up high just below the roof and ends 4 feet above the sidewalk. There are 6 narrow stanzas of 4 lines each. The text reads, "Lights are burning in quiet rooms where lives go on resembling ours. The quiet lives that follow us, these lives we lead but do not own. Stand in the rain so quietly when we are gone so quietly. And the last bus comes letting dark umbrellas out. Black flowers, and lives go on like sudden lights at street corners, or like the lights in quiet rooms left on for hours, burning.
Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. I love hearing that. We are not in a quiet room, not quite this morning, but I did love hearing all of that description along with the beautiful music behind us, which I thought was just a lovely touch to it. We started at a piece of sculpture. We started with 3-dimensional art, and we had a chance to touch it. I had a chance to talk about the scale of it. This is an entirely different piece. It is 2-dimensional. It is a mural painted on a wall, and it's a very unique idea. The idea that we can put poetry. Can you imagine if we could have Annie's poetry painted on a wall? Right? In Braille. I think I would like to have that. I think that would be lovely.
That's what Joe said.
We have a large mural renaissance going on in Charlotte. We're going to see a couple of more murals on our tour. This one dates to actually 2015, which I think is pretty early on, and I think it's amazing that it's still standing there. The house that it is painted on is surrounded by a parking lot, has not been used in the whole time that I think that I've lived in Charlotte. The house was built in 1887. Wow. And that goes back to the earliest parts of Charlotte when this area was a residential area. Bree, talk to me about wall poems, what you know about what they do in other places in the city, and how important it is for us to have poetry in the middle of our urban environment.
Sure. So you had talked about the mural renaissance, and actually Scott Nurkin, who's the one who painted all of the wall poems, he's a Raleigh-based artist.
Oh, wow.
But he was one of the first ones to bring murals to Charlotte, so he's still considered like part of our important fabric of the beginners of those. He's a technical sign painter where you used to go and train under a master sign painter and learn those things. There's a school that does it in Illinois, and he went and participated in that. So I know that about him, so he's perfectly qualified for painting the poems on the side of all of this. And it's interesting, of the wall poems, which I don't know how many total there are.
I think there are about a dozen.
A dozen? Most of them are still around, which is rare. Public art comes and goes. I've had some of my murals painted over, and that's a painful thing, but it's also part of it. As construction builds and shifts and the, intention for the buildings move, I think that's like something that's part of it. But one thing that's really special, Charlotte is a city of new. It's glass and steel, and so to have this building that's over 100 years old, and to have this poem which is one of the first murals that came to Charlotte to still be here, is a testament to that. And you had talked about like the importance of poems on murals, and you talked about the differences of the places that we just were and the place that we are now. I think they're actually quite similar, and that's a role of public art, is that it causes you to pause. And so a city is a bustling place. Behind us, which we'll walk past the festival, there's, I don't know, a couple hundred people dancing right now. So it's really exciting. Oh, wow. And there's all this stuff happening that's very city-minded. People are in a rush to get somewhere, and you stop and you pause. That pause is really successful. In art, we consider ourselves a part of the attention economy, right? Attention is something that is now very valuable. That's why commercials on the Super Bowl cost as much as they do, because our attention is so incredibly valuable. And public art kind of helps to influence your attention economy. When we go into museums, this is something that I used to love to tell my students and think about myself. As people were going through museums, they spend about 2.5 seconds looking at each piece. Whoa. So our goal was always to get people to stop and look at a piece for 30 seconds or more. You might think 30 seconds, that's not enough time to experience something. That's not very much, but it's 15 times more than the normal. And there's something about that pause that adds to the value of life. And both of these pieces add those pauses. They make you go, that's unusual. Let's explore more and think differently other than our hustle and bustle.
Yeah, we have a question. Okay, so we had a comment, and the woman who started Wall Poems, Amy Bagwell, she's a professor at CPCC. She's still here in Charlotte. It was a really, really wonderful project, and I hope you've enjoyed this little sort of quiet, and the poem does speak to the quietness that we can find. And maybe we can find more of that today.
This area is usually, if you're without the music and stuff, this area is like usually really quiet.
Correct. I agree. Yeah.
And I think I heard about this house on the news.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions? Okay.
Not like Graham Street, right, Joey? Not like Graham Street.
It's a local developer who is actually a partner in the project. So he was supportive of having art on his building, and he's just a local developer. I'm not really sure why. Nothing has happened to it. I hope they're able to save the building. Yes, sir.
How does the artist choose which poem to memorialize?
So that was done by Amy Bagwell because she was the curator of the show, and so she would have chosen all of the poems and then given the direction to the artist to actually handwrite it. Yeah. You know anything else?
And they weren't all, it was a mix. I don't know if Sarah might know this too, but Donald Justice, I don't think is a local artist, but I know that
they're all from North
they're all
Carolina.
from North Carolina. Okay, so one of the other ones that's close by is by Maury Creech, and he was actually a poetry professor of mine. So she did work really hard to curate local poets for this. Yeah.
They were all supposed to be poets who had a connection to North Carolina.
Oh wow.
Cool. All right, let's regroup for a minute. Make sure that you have your guide. I'm going to head to Mary in just a second. We are actually going to walk through the park. We're going to follow a curvy pathway and end up at our next spot. And the pathways are pretty clear. And just enjoy the music.
Bend down and feel that.
All right.
What is that?
It'll make you remember something. Go ahead. Bend down and pick it up.
Where?
All right, here.
All the way to the right. Now forward.
That?
Yeah.
These nuts.
Huh?
These nuts. That?
Yeah, they are.
What is that?
What is it? They're Raleigh's.
An acorn?
You and Joe need to advocate for one of these poems in Braille.
I know, right? That'd be cool. Daddy.
Yes, sir.
You know who? Remember when I told you I wanted you to meet Robin? She's here.
Yeah, I just met her. She's the one that brought you.
Okay.
They're doing it to keep blessings and stuff.
Where'd everybody go?
Everybody's just going to you behind you. You're walking in the middle.
Oh, wow.
I want you to tell these people how much you appreciate it. They keep this shit clean when you're already dirty.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I didn't litter, the wind took it. That ought to be a t-shirt.
Yeah, babies and down, babies and tight,
All right, y'all all come back on the stage. Okay. Come back on the stage and show your more love.
Here's another
Okay.
one.
Right
How you doing? We appreciate
Great,
you.
we appreciate you.
Keeping this
Thank you,
first
bud.
thing.
Of course.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
They got all kinds of stuff going on.
That's what I got a place to be in. Yo, right up your alley.
That's why I was gonna stay today, but we gotta go to Lincoln today.
Oh, they have fishing stations all over the place.
Ah.
They must have known that was coming.
What is that food truck over there?
Black Asian way.
Huh?
Black Asian way.
Oh. So like Korean chicken wings and shit? Fried chicken wings? Curry collard greens.
Okay, guys, we're gonna wait for our group, the rest of the group that's coming.
Oh man, I didn't know this was here. This is good.
Kind of a nice little holding pattern. Did you enjoy the walk through the park with the drums? I mean, it was quite nice.
Uh-huh.
The festival has a huge stage set up, and they have performers. And we had the drums, and then right before that we had the singer. So it's really interesting.
Is there something going on like that almost every weekend here?
This is a special event.
Well, I guess
It is.
I guess what I'm wondering is, how did it happen to be that our thing is scheduled on the same day?
Because we just got lucky. All right, we are mostly here, so we're going to cross over. There's no traffic. We're just walking along the crosswalk to head our
Really? Here's us.
Go first. All right, now we're going.
go around this little street.
We're walking beside Bruce, Joe.
Hey, what's up, Bruce? What street is this?
Hey, Joe. This ain't no street.
Oh, yes?
You'll be ready to sing a song later on.
I don't know. Wait, you?
Oh no, we're just being jokes.
All right, we're going to stop right here. Okay.
Somebody made a statue with a bunch of chairs.
There's
Oh,
grass
wow.
and there's shade over here if you'd like it.
Yes, if you like sun or shade, sort of make your way to either one of those sections.
I love sun.
Are you okay standing on the grass?
And you can stand on the sidewalk, you can stand on the grass.
What was the lady's name you were telling me about?
Robin.
I know we don't have any music now. I think they're in between performers. Somebody asked, how did we get so lucky as to be here when they were having the festival? And we just picked the date and we were lucky, but it does add a lot.
There's more to see.
Yeah,
I thought it was part of the
there's more to
festival.
hear, and there's a lot going on. So I like that. Sometimes Uptown can be a little desolate sometimes. But
Yes, it can.
all right. Somebody
Tomorrow-
also asked if all of the pieces were in the park, and most of our pieces, 3 of them that we've seen now have been sort of on the park, but we are getting ready to head to a piece that's not associated with the park. So this is the last piece that we will see located in the park, and it's a brand new piece. We've been talking about some pieces that have been here for a while, so it's kind of fun to be able to talk about a new one. So Samantha, go ahead with the audio description.
All right, this is one of my favorite new additions to the mural walk. It is a long audio description, but I think you'll see why in a minute. Chandler the Chair Monster by David Furman. Nearly 100 wooden chair frames, 60 feet long, mystical monster. The chair monster sculpture immediately grabs the attention of passersby with its bright, whimsical design.
I don't think your mic is working.
Oh, it is. Okay. Would you like to come up front?
I'd like to, because I can't hear that well.
I'm speaking into it.
It's working, it's just low.
Okay. Can everyone hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The chair monster sculpture immediately grabs the attention of passersby with its bright, whimsical design. Constructed entirely of around 100 wooden chair frames painted in a warmly saturated, sunshiny yellow. The simple design of the structure has 4 main sections, which together form a long, serpent-like body undulating like waves rising from the ground. From head to tail, the sculpture spans about 60 feet. The sections are connected at ground level by 3 large concrete platforms. Atop each platform, the chairs are anchored to heavy-duty metal bases painted to match the chairs in the same shade of yellow. The chair frames used are of simple wooden design, perhaps dining room or patio chairs that would be positioned around a table. The seat of each chair frame is missing as if taken off a factory assembly line before the upholstered seat portions had been added. The chairs are stacked one on top of the other to form the
when you do that, you block the sound.
The head and tail at either end are each composed of a single stack of chairs pointed upward and angled slightly out, while the 2 center portions of the long, slithery body both arc upwards in curved side-up crescents that seemingly emerge and fall just below ground level. All of the chairs used for the body of the monster have organic curved lines forming the chair back, seat, and armrests, reminiscent of furniture design popular in the 1960s and 70s. The chairs used for the head portion are distinctly different. Without armrests, these chair frames have boxy rectangular chair backs and seats. The stack of 7 chairs forming a head juts forward at a 45-degree angle. 2 taller stacks of chairs positioned perpendicular just behind the head and each facing out towards either side rise up towards the sky as if 2 outstretched wings. Moving backwards from the head, the 2 center lengths of the monster each form a half circle widening at the ground. These stacks of chairs form gracefully sweeping arcs with the backs of the chairs creating the curved top line. The chairs are oriented towards the ground with the repeating lines from the chair arms creating a concave shape similar to a rib cage. The final portion or tail of the monster rises out from the 3rd platform at the rear. The overall effect of the larger continuous line of the monster, sloping up in 2 humps and dipping in and out of sight just below the ground, evokes a movement pattern of the monster like that of a sidewinder snake gyrating through sand, or like the popular iconic photos alleged to have caught the Loch Ness monster moving through the water.
Wow.
Okay. It's a big one. Okay, this is Anne again. You're probably wondering, oh my goodness, what kind of pieces are we seeing today, right?
Some fun stuff.
So that's the wonderful part of our public art world, is the variety of art that surrounds us that we can experience. And this one is just chairs. And it's a really cool piece. A local artist and architect, David Furman, had the idea for it when someone called him out of the blue and said, would you like a couple hundred old chairs? I don't know. I'm probably going to say no to that. But that's not what an artist says. An artist says, yes, I will take them and I will make something and dream up something amazing for it. And that is a little bit about how this piece got here. It was so quiet for a minute, wasn't it?
Oh, I missed that loud train bell. It is still here.
Yeah, it was so quiet. This is a fun piece. One thing about it is that it has a wire enclosure around it, so we can't get up close to touch it.
Oh.
So it is 3-dimensional. It is sculpture. They don't obviously want children climbing on it, so that's why they put the enclosure around it. Talk to us about color.
Sure. The yellow is the thing that you notice. It's this, like she said earlier, the sunshiny yellow. And she used so many great vocabulary words that were very serpentine in nature, describing it. Hold on, I'll wait for the train to pass. Here it comes. I think of this piece not like a snake, but to me it looks like a Chinese dragon. Like when the people wear the costumes and dance around, that's what it looks like to me, that there's it's alive, there's something larger than life about it. And it's moving. And I actually just took a video of all of us and the piece to send to the fabricator, because I actually watched this piece as it was being made.
Wow.
So that was really exciting. And like Ann said, that's what artists do. We say, sure, 100,000 chairs. Let's make a monster out of it. That's what an artist's brain does. And like I said earlier, it causes you to pause, right? You do look at this thing and think snake or dragon, and then up close you do recognize the form of chairs. So that's something, if you can create a pause in an audience, that's special. You know, that's that attention economy that I was talking about earlier. When we talk about making public art, like the pieces that we saw earlier, and David, whose piece this is now, the chairs, he has worked in sculpture before and does architecture. But like I said, my friends who own the fabrication studio that helped to put this together, they do a lot of this kind of stuff. So if Marlon has an idea to create a larger-than-life sculpture of himself, he doesn't have to learn.
Totally do that.
Which we are.
It's coming soon.
2025 we'll be filling the shoe of his sculpture. It'll be 10 feet long. He doesn't have to learn how to sculpt and then cast it in bronze and then install it, because that's a whole other thing, trying to get something installed permanently with the city and the codes. You work with fabricators. So I do the same thing. I'm working on sculptures. I don't have to learn how to do that. And so that's a very special and important part of the public art process, is that there are fabricators that help to produce all of these things, and the artist can just focus on the aesthetic, the meaning, their intention for the piece. They don't have to be out here like painting the chairs yellow and then figuring out how to anchor them into each other. I want to note that it's often a multi-part thing. I help to run this program called the Blumenthal Fellows Program, where I walk artists usually through their very first piece of installation work, and I say the same thing: don't learn how to weld, find a welder.
Somebody said that when they were talking about the light rail. Cats had a video, and it was street art at 36th Street. The guy says, I did this with granite. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's true. And instead of becoming a jack of all trades, like focusing on what we are really good at helps. That's the longevity of an art career.
Could you speak a little bit about the city codes concerning this kind of art?
Sure. Something that's a little bit, it's a long process. It's very bureaucratic. And so something that you might think, to give an example, I have been honored to win the bid, which I didn't even apply for, you get kind of nominated for, to do the facade of the new Naomi Drennan Center, to paint a mural on that after it gets renovated. So I won the bid. I've started to, It's like,
where is that?
It's up on the Nearger Heights, Nearger Heights, and Eastway.
Oh
area. Sorry.
When did you get the bid?
A couple weeks ago, a couple months ago actually, and I will not begin installing that piece until like late 2025.
Wow.
It's a long process, and part of it is because of the county and the city codes for the building ordinances. It's a long process. So some people think like, oh, just paint it. Like, I could paint it. It'll take me about 2 weeks to paint it. Doesn't matter. It's still a 2.5 year long process. And to think back about what we were looking on earlier with the wall poems all over, there's special city ordinances that talk about right of way, and right of way means like things cannot be in simple terms, so in the way or be misconstrued as signage. So you can't like look at the poem and think that it's telling you like don't turn down this road or turn right if it has the word right in it. It can in no way be misunderstood as something that the public needs to do with their car and cause danger. So often there's a long process to go through a right of way approval process to make sure that somebody doesn't accidentally cause an accident or something by looking at a mural. And so things cannot be construed as signage. There's limited words. If there are a bunch of words like the poems that we've seen, they can't be very big. They can't be in certain colors.
Wow.
It's a process.
Anybody else have a question?
What's the difference between a sculpture and a mural?
Well, a sculpture, like we first saw, is three-dimensional, meaning you can touch it and feel around it. It has height and width and depth. And then a mural is flat. A mural is normally flat. It's usually 2 dimensions, just length and width. Length and height, sorry. I do teach art, but fortunately there is not a test at the end. But you would pass, I'm sure, because you have awesome questions. All right, how's everybody feeling?
Wonderful.
Good? Okay. We're going to let the train pass. I want to tell you where we're headed.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, if you're up for it, we have about a 3 short block walk.
Yay!
Okay? To our next piece where we have bottled water. If you need it, we'll have water for you at that next stop. We have 3 stops left on our tour. So we haven't walked very much. We're really only a block away from where we started. So this is going to be our big walk portion. So stay with your guide. And at one part of it, it's going to be a narrow sidewalk. We'll need to walk single file.
Oh, I know where we're going.
Yeah.
Tryon Street.
We're going to Tryon Street. So, but the rest of the sidewalks are pretty wide.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's go. I'm going to grab Mary.
You walk quite as fast as you were. You lost all of it.
Well, Mary is a fast one. I'm going to blame it on Mary.
It's warming up some.
Yep.
It's nice out here.
Cool deal.
This is fun.
Well,
Yep.
the shoreline over here.
I don't want to do that because I want to keep up with like the group.
Okay.
Beautiful. The chair moss. That is so cool.
There you go.
I wish I could touch it.
The lady in front of us, that's a backpack. You want to know what it says?
What?
Coño, soy boricua.
Yeah. It's not cursed like the Carolina Panthers.
What?
The backpack. Carolina Panthers are cursed.
This is the old Sears building, isn't it?
Oh, wow, it's still there.
Yeah, your grandfather had
Pops used to love.
no, Pops used to have IHOP somewhere around there.
It was on. I think it was on North Tryon.
Yeah.
I think it was at the time where everything was on Independence or North Tryon. That's what my buddy
Nothing
said.
but Independence of North Tryon.
Yeah. I work on North Tryon.
Yep, you do.
That's why if somebody ever started talking crap that works at the Bank of America building, I say, hey, you can't say nothing about I work in the hood because you still work on North Tryon Street.
If you ever run around this kind of stuff, don't mess with it.
What stuff?
This is a big electrical thingamabob that you do not want to mess with.
Why don't they have talking high voltage signs? They have talking wet floor signs.
People are cheap.
You know, GMS had talking wet floor signs. Coolest thing I I ever witnessed was the talking wet floor sign. It was like, wow. There are light rail tracks in this street.
The talking sign, was it motion detected or did it just keep repeating itself?
It was motion detected. I think it was motion detected. I can't remember, but like when I walked by it, it said caution, wet
You
floor.
need to tell her what you and Cassidy were talking about.
Oh,
You need somebody to
a
do
wall poem in Braille. There's a,
That's a great idea.
yeah.
It probably works to make that happen. I don't know how we'd pass in Braille. I guess in bricks. And then the bricks.
Who is that, Bree?
Yes, right next to you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Joey.
Joey. Nice to meet you, Joey.
You too.
Joey, is this your dad?
Yes.
The CNI daddy,
What's your name?
Rudy.
Rudy. Nice to meet you, Rudy.
But I think Joey's daddy. That's my best
They're the sparrows.
charge
I
in
think
life.
those are sparrows.
I think you're right.
Hey, Bruce.
Do you know all the bird songs?
I'm doing
Not
this.
really. I just know the sparrows. They're very ubiquitous.
Babies on my porch, so
Oh,
I
wow.
get to like hear them, you know, there's
Oh.
I didn't.
really sweet.
You know, I used to get confused for a while between a dove and a pigeon.
Yes, well they're the same species, did you know that?
No.
They're basically the same.
Oh, yeah.
Pigeons used to be domesticated, we just
Ah.
turned them loose and didn't know how to... They look similar.
You know what New Yorkers call pigeons? Flying rats.
Flying rats, yeah, they don't like them.
Yeah, because the New York City pigeons, they, New York City is a very dirty city.
It's very dirty.
And people just, if they're in a hurry and don't have time to eat something, they'll just chuck it on the ground.
I'm gonna have to
They'll just chuck it on the ground.
For the group?
So that's why there's pigeons and rats the size of cats.
Very large.
Pretty quiet on this side of 7th Street.
You know what? Did I holler at you? Yeah. There was some lady having a conversation with a telephone pole.
Wow.
I don't know if the telephone pole.
Okay, we're gonna stop here and wait for our light.
Oh,
How are we doing?
good.
Good? All right, we'll wait for everybody else to catch up here for the lights. We are on 9th Street, so we started at 7th Street, and so we're actually just 2 streets over. I'm going to wait for everybody to catch up. We got a few folks right behind us.
To the right? Yeah, we're gonna start having some people going out.
Yeah, they got a packer store right up there in front.
Oh, wow. There's a place on West 9th Street that I want to go.
I don't know.
This is East 9th Street.
Yeah, but I know this is East 9th Street. But there's a place on West 9th Street called, I think it's 9th and Pine Street. It's called Alexander Michael's. It's supposed to be a Cajun restaurant. It's supposed to be like one of the oldest restaurants in the city.
Is everybody here? Okay, perfect. We're going to cross in just a second when the light changes.
What's the name of the restaurant?
I'm here.
What's the name of the restaurant?
We'll be shooting
Alexander
back by 11:30.
Alexander
Yeah,
Michael.
we have
Sounds like
3
an
more
artist or
stops.
something.
Okay,
Asian.
we're all together, so we are going to cross the street.
We go to Food Road. 36th Street.
There's not much going on over here.
We are near where my art studio is.
And we just crossed college.
Have you ever been into
East
that?
9th and North College.
we have walked by a place, you know, honestly, it's very robotic for me. I just go wherever Joe goes.
Well, that place is really cool.
And
There's
it's-
212 artists there.
Where?
Right, we're about a block away from what's called the VACA Center, which stands for Visual and Performing Arts Center. And my studio's there. It's on the basement level.
Oh, I think I heard of it. Isn't that where the ballet is?
It's across from the ballet. You're right. Yeah, it's across from the ballet and the Fall Center.
That's like really far north uptown.
Yes, that's where we're at. Yep,
Yep.
at the very end of Uptown.
Where is that church that's got all those containers that are all
Piano.
murals and stuff like that?
Oh, you can hear it. So that's
Okay.
it's called Victoria Yards.
That's on Davidson Street. 3rd and Davidson.
Careful, Joe.
It might be on North Davidson. Oh. That's like some Plaza Midwood level sidewalks.
I know.
Very dangerous.
It's textured.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been up. I don't think I've been north of 9th Street on Tryon. Up.
Walkable past 9th. It gets very industrial.
Yeah.
And then becomes nice again around North Davidson, like you were saying.
Yeah.
This is back in the 60s, but his granddad brought, what's the name of this? IHOP in Charlotte. It's called International Nelson Bank.
Oh yeah, of course.
And he had one of them up here by the old theater. George Fine, who used to own Peace and Butters.
It's funny how uptown just like changes as soon as you cross 9th Street.
It's a totally different feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. And then after you cross the bridge 277, it's like, whoa, what did I just go into?
Me and Joe were talking about getting in some trouble today, Bruce. Yeah. Joey.
Yeah.
You're going to your girlfriend's house now.
Okay.
Right? Let's cross this way, but we're going to wait for everybody else. Yeah. So we're going to wait right here. We're at the corner of Tryon Street. Who knew that we were heading toward Tryon Street? How did you know that?
Because narrow sidewalk, because there's this thing, I thought we were going to 7th and Tryon, and like 7th Street by Tryon has like the narrowest sidewalks in town.
Ah.
It's really good sense of direction. He knew where Victoria Yards was and everything else.
You know why? For about 15 years, it would be always sit behind the driver's seat, and it was always what's on the right, what's on the left, and I would be narrating. So he learned the whole city.
That's amazing.
And now I can feel where we are. Like, dang it, they paved this road. No, I don't know where we are.
Now he's helping me out.
So it's different
I'm always
texture.
lost.
You're like, where are we?
Yeah, you know why? Because I always knew to tell people before they paved Tryon, like between Sugar Creek and Eastway, I always used to tell people, you're looking for my building, make sure, like you go, it's right after the second rough patch on your right. Well, now I can't tell people because it's paved.
Tell her what I called you.
My external hard drive.
Oh, okay, yeah. And GPS.
My mind is beginning to slip some gears. So Joe always gets
It's so fun. It actually is kind of infuriating when people don't listen, and I'm like, well, you're lost, and I know you're lost. And my mom's like, no, you're not. And then 2 traffic lights later, she pulls down the window and says, excuse me, can you tell me how to get to?
We're not going to stop over here, okay?
Oh, we sort of have a couple of little...
Why? What's there? What's there?
A puddle.
Oh.
And some syringes and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get back a little bit. We don't want to do like Manolete.
Who's that?
It was an old bullfighter from Portugal. I love you, Joe.
Love you too, Daddy.
we're sailing along.
Okay, the rest of our group is coming.
Oops. All right, what's that?
I can't tell you. It sounds like a big one though, like a fire truck or
It
ambulance.
is. It's a fire truck. Let's go. You be walking here forever, you'll get the phone service.
Yep. I don't think I would walk around there.
Yeah, we have some nice sidewalks.
And then we're gonna get behind the roof again. Come on, Richard. This ain't Richard.
He called me, well,
Oh, you go to Richard?
sometimes.
I call him anything.
That's why.
I'll never remember nothing. Yeah, I forget his name. He always
Whenever he used to call a name that I know wasn't even anywhere around, I knew he was talking to me.
Luther. Yeah, that's Luther Vandross.
Yeah. That's exactly who he used to call me that for. Oh, interesting area.
Oh, you had no idea.
Some eyes. Very, very different than uptown.
I feel naked here.
Huh?
I feel naked here.
I'm not an artist. Bree is an artist.
I don't have my piece with me.
You don't have the heat?
Nope. I gotta get that permit renewed. Careful. Look, this tree right here is really messing up the sidewalk.
You know what? You know, you could probably get land here for cheap enough to put a bunch of blind people housing buildings over here.
You probably get one of these old buildings.
Yep. This is where I was thinking of putting it. It would be halfway, it would be close to MAB and Lion Services. We're on Tryon now, aren't we?
Yep.
Damn. There's the big train.
Yep. Hold on, Joe.
Yep.
You can hear the train.
Yeah, that's the big train.
Up there with a big old butt. You stack on them toes, you're gonna break all in there.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Where's she at?
Up the second floor in the Charlotte Ballet thing.
Ah.
You know, they stepped on their tippy toes to do their thing.
Ah. Oh, sorry. Oops. Now they got brick paved sidewalks here.
Huh?
Now they have brick.
Big sidewalk. Big sidewalk.
I guess this is the ballet on the right.
On the right is the ballet, absolutely.
700 North Tryon
Hey
Street.
guys, I'm going to stop and grab the water and let everybody kind of catch up with us.
Need to go to the bathroom or anything, Jeff?
Nope.
Okay.
You know what?
What?
I think I do want to go to Monarch Market so we can walk down that way.
Okay. That's fine. Can I borrow some? I love you, Joe.
Love you too, Daddy.
Let's go.
I don't know why they don't do something with this part of Tryon.
They do. They put a ballet company out here.
Yeah, but you know.
The only way people can break their toes when they get up and maintain.
I need some water, though.
You need water?
Yeah, whenever they got the...
Oh, here's the mural.
mural.
We made it.
Looks like we made it. Okay, Joe. We're gonna lean on the bike.
Would you guys like some water? We have some small bottles
Joe
of
wants
water.
some water. Thank you so very much. I got you, Joe.
Thank you.
I got you,
Very
Joe.
thoughtful.
Okay, water. Yes, yes.
Water?
Mary, would you like some water?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Mary.
That was our longest
Don't you work
walk,
with us?
so.
Don't you work at Lion Services?
Do I work there?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
I mean, they're, you know.
What's your name?
Not
Joey.
cold, but
Oh, okay.
it's not hot either. It was in the
Nice to meet you.
Are you the guy that knows downtown so well?
Yes.
Ah. Did you live down here or
Well,
you just spent a lot of time down here?
yeah, I spent a lot of time down here.
Uh-huh.
I
They used to.
never been up here. I quickly found out why.
I used to go to the downtown
Okay,
library all
let's
the
take a little
time.
minute. That was our longest stretch of walking. And you guys did awesome. So let's take a little minute
I want
and
you
enjoy
to.
your water.
Enjoy the water with me.
If you didn't get water, there's plenty left. Oh no, Samantha needs water.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
So y'all, that was a little bit of a walk, and I appreciate that you were patient and got us through safely. That's the most important thing. We actually sort of came to a little bit different area of town. We had been spending most of our time in First Ward Park, where we saw all of the pieces there. And we're sort of making our way over to the end of North Tryon, which is where a lot of artist organizations are located. We are standing out front of the ballet, where is it the North Carolina Ballet? Or
I think it's the Charlotte Ballet.
Okay,
Charlotte
thank you.
Ballet.
And right beside it is McCall Center, which is a center for visual artists. And then right across the street from here is VAPA, which is where Bree has her studio. So it's a little bit of an arts district, and we have some art here that we want to celebrate as part of that. So if you're all comfortable, then I think maybe Samantha, if you're ready, we'll go ahead with an audio description. Yeah, just
Here from here.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
I am standing in the sun over here because I'm a little chilly.
There's a little bit
Yeah,
of
I'd
sun
like
and
to move
shade
over
at this
there.
site, so pick
Closer.
what you like.
I think I'd like to move it
Alrighty,
closer.
the name of this mural is Delight in
Right there.
Dancing. And I might butcher the artist Picasso.
Pichavio?
Okay. This two-story high mural is painted on the side wall of the Charlotte Ballet Academy. The mural is about 16 feet wide, positioned in a concave corner, dividing it into two sections. The background is a graffiti-covered wall filled with bubble letters and abstract shapes and sizes ranging from a few inches high to over 2 feet. Even though the limestone blocks that make up the wall are filled with graffiti tags, very few distinct words can clearly be made out, but a few are obvious, such as love, old school, hola, cool, and there is a yellow smiley face with red heart-shaped eyes. Most of the tags are indistinguishable, partly because the text is all overlapping in different colors, but also because a thin, cloudy layer of whitewash has been applied to the upper corners, making the background hazy and indistinct. In the same translucent whitewash, a classical female figure, 15 feet tall, is superimposed on the graffiti background. With sharp, elegant facial features and a neutral expression, she could be a marble statue from ancient Greece or Rome. She stands in contrapposto pose with her head turned to our right like the face of a coin. Most of her hair is tightly pulled back, but a few curled pieces spill from the back of her head like a gentle waterfall. A few strands are left loose, hanging in front of her ear in tight ringlets. A toga drapes over the soft curves of her body, and she holds a 5-stringed lyre against her hip. The entire woman, as well as her clothing and instrument, are painted in a translucent whitewash. The colorful graffiti behind her shows through as if she were a ghost, hardly there at all. The year 2019 is painted in the bottom left corner. That's it. I'm done.
Thank you.
All right, this is Ann again. Welcome to one of my favorite murals. I love this mural. I had a chance to see the artists when they were painting. It's fascinating to be able to watch artists when they put this thing up. We've been talking about a lot of local artists. We've been talking about some sort of regional artists with the first piece, but these are internationally known artists. They paint all over the world. And to have them here in Charlotte shows you how deep and how wide our public art collection is here in Charlotte. We need to be very, very proud of that. What I love about this piece is the connection and the collaboration and the just expression of love for graffiti and classical art. And that just sort of explains my whole life right now. Because I was trained to teach fine arts, and I've grown to love what graffiti arts do. And Bree, this is a very, very special piece. How does it speak to you? There's lots going on here, and I think our audio description was amazing, but what stands out for you?
Sure. So I think to go back to something that was said in the audio description, the idea of contrapposto, which means counterpose, right? Counterpose, as opposed to omniposto, one pose. So if you can imagine omniposto, like shoulders back, chest out, like a warrior would have.
Like that.
Brace, exactly how Joey's doing it. Contrapposto is not that. It's considered very feminine, right? Because the weight is in one hip, and contra, because your hips and your shoulders are facing at different angles, so it's a soft, leisurely pose that you're not like bracing. So there's something very feminine about it. And I think most things, like the beauty lies in the contrast, right? That's what provides value. And this is like a perfect piece of that. And I think when people hear about murals, or they kind of group together a couple of terms. I think murals and graffiti and murals and street art and public art all kind of mean the same thing, and that's not true. And sometimes people just have this kind of disgust for street art and graffiti, almost like the tags. Oh my gosh, people are just tagging up all the cities. If you've been to large metropolitan European cities like Barcelona, covered in graffiti tags. So I think that this piece does a great job of tying those two things together, because in our community, we're one and the same. Often we start as taggers. There are people who tag and do all the tags on the side of trains or on the side of bridges, and then work their way up because they become comfortable with spray paint to a life of public art. And we don't necessarily consider those things like different. It's the public's opinion on it that's different. Yes, there's a question? Yeah. Yep.
What's the book?
Oh my goodness. And here we are talking about those same graffiti artists.
Celebrating it. Okay, one more question.
Excuse me, what was the person's name?
This artist it's actually a duo. It's two of them, and it's Picciavo. They're Italian.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm talking about the gentleman that was talking.
Oh, what's your name, sir?
Yeah.
What's your name, sir? Teddy.
Teddy.
What did you do in New York?
He was a law enforcement officer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we used to patrol trains that used to be graffitied up back in the
He would patrol the trains and stop the graffiti artists.
Yeah, the Redbirds. I think I heard about those when I was in New York.
inside the Coney Island trains and graffiti.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we would take them in, but it was it's renounced spot all over the world.
Right.
Oh, is that Theodore?
That was back in the 80s.
Amazing.
Joey, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna say, as part of the thing that people are disgusted with graffiti, because you often hear about it when it comes to like gang taggings and stuff.
Sure. It can have a negative persona. Yes, sir.
And I was curious about that. You said that graffiti, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but you indicated that graffiti is part of what you've accepted now.
Yeah.
But what if someone were to apply that to your own property without your permission?
Yeah, I was gonna
Then that's a crime.
Sure. And that's a discussion that the city is having right now with its artists. Right now, if you're a graffiti artist, you know, you're trying to not get caught. Maybe you're painting or tagging in the middle of the night, or places where you know there's not going to be a police officer present. What Charlotte is trying to do right now, there is an effort to create a free, legal graffiti park for self-expression. And that allows artists to come and practice and to be seen and to sort of have that message be there. How important is that for artists to have a safe space?
I think it's really important because it's not only, you know, like we had talked about, it's illegal, but it's dangerous. It's very dangerous to try to tag a train for many reasons, or a bridge for many reasons that you can imagine.
Because they had to clean it off. That was extra work.
Sure.
It's true. So it's an effort, and it's also, I don't know, I'm in the camp where it's public art, right? And public art is for the public, and it's in people's nature, the way that we would, I don't know, write our names on a desk in second grade, or I don't know. I'm not saying that everyone does that, but it's just, there's something about people that want to do it. So I think it's part of a larger discussion, whether you feel negatively or positive about it.
This has to be designated.
Totally. I think it's a sign of a big city. So I'm always happy about that, because I see that there's energy. And like Ann was saying earlier, you know, we're part of this mural renaissance, and having this piece by an international artist is really special. And this piece came here during Talking Walls Festival a couple of years ago. And Talking Walls is a festival that pairs local artists and national, international artists to create anywhere from 5 to 10 murals each year. And so that's been going on for the last 5 or 6 years. And so you can do the math on that. That's, you know, exponentially more murals, and it helps to define our city as a mural city. And, you know, we talked about earlier, I had mentioned my process with the city and the county for the Naomi Drennan Center is a 2-year-long process. There are artists who do a public art career. Those are long projects over long timelines. And then there are artists like this group of artists, Pichiavo, who go from festival to festival to festival, and that's how they make their career, a couple $1,000s at a time, piecing it together. So there's a wide spectrum of how frequently these projects go up, and all of that's kind of accepted like within the community, that there's a couple different pathways.
Have any additional tags been added since we did this?
No. Yeah. And that's something that happens. People always ask me, like, are you worried about people tagging your murals? And it's never been a problem. There's something about that. And there's even like kind of an unspoken thing about it. Like if you do, like even at these free expression places, like there's one in Barcelona, there's one in Greensboro, there's one in Raleigh. You cover up the previous person's work, you leave nothing behind so that it can't be misconstrued as their style. So I think like within the community there's a sense of honor and respect where we don't tag over each other's work.
Where does the money come from? For this project, this actually was a Charlotte Shout project in coordination with Talking Walls that would have come from the festival that we just attended. Yes.
Started in Denver. 20 years ago in Denver, there was a community discussion for years about how to solve the tagging problem. One of my colleagues started a program to hire teenagers to do their own murals using street art techniques.
Yeah.
20 years later, it's still going strong. The tagging problem has all but disappeared
Right.
in Denver.
Yeah.
Because it allowed the artistic expression.
Yeah. And you know, one thing to remember is that graffiti art and the graffiti artists, that is a subculture of our community that is largely ignored. And they use that tagging and the artistic expression of that to spread a message. Hopefully. So it's an important conversation. All right. You guys have been terrific with an amazing question. So I think what we're going to have to do, and I want to talk with Bree and Samantha, I think maybe we ought to just head to our last piece because it's about 11:30. Does that sound okay with everybody? Okay.
More pieces, more better.
I know, but I did promise you 11:30. So if people have plans, I don't want to interrupt that. So. Yes, exactly. So let's head back. So I have extra water if we do need it. I am going to pair with Mary, if I can find Mary. Oh, okay, Mary. And we will leave you. We are headed toward our last piece, which is equity. Okay. I do have more water.
Whenever we get to our next piece, I got to change my implant batteries.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let me get, we're going to lead the way. So I'm going to get we're actually headed right back the way we came.
Rome hit me bad.
Yeah, I understand. I get it.
I've been to Rome.
Yeah, I have too. I love Rome.
Yeah, and Daddy walked all over Rome without me on accident because he don't listen.
Of course, rude. Joe.
And everywhere we went in Rome, oh, I saw this. I saw this. I saw that too.
Because I got lost.
Yeah. You got blisters on your feet. You didn't have a good time the whole trip because you saw everything and you had blisters on your feet. I had a great time, even with my grandmother.
Yeah, but you take your hearing aid off.
I didn't have it at that time. I still had hearing at that time.
Okay, Joe, it's a big...
Teddy.
Teddy's here.
Teddy. You're the guy that I rode I read the bus with, aren't you?
Hey, we're heading towards Tryon, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna have sushi, right?
Yeah.
Or you're gonna have that?
Curry gate.
Yeah.
This is 10th and Tryon.
Yep.
You turn left and you keep walking for about a mile and a half. Guess where you end up? MAB. You end up right next to MAB.
Louis Avenue, girl?
Yeah, because that part where, you know that big 5-pointed intersection there? That's 10th, Central, and Louise.
Isn't Teddy the guy who sat in front of us for lunch?
No. That was Thomas.
Thomas was a vet.
Yeah.
See, that's what you do. If you're a cop in New York, you got a pension from New York City, you come live down here,
Huh?
you got a pension.
He was a cop in New York City. It went back in the old days.
You remember the conversation Brad was having with you? With how he can buy a house much, much cheaper in, where was he going?
Jackson, Tennessee. Yeah.
Whoa!
Whoa, Daddy.
That don't bother me anymore, Joe.
That's a good thing.
It used to hurt like hell.
What's this building on the right?
Huh?
What's
It's a
that?
parking lot. Sky House uptown.
Oh.
Where are we going up next, Joe? Let's say Oh, there's that place where you got hung up when you came down.
Hung up where?
Up ahead, the construction for the...
Oh, that library? My arch nemesis. If I ever see the person who decided to lay out the construction area like that, when I came.
Yep. Careful, there's somebody in front.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 seconds, Joe.
And I said, you're right. And I said, you know, you're right.
This is 9th Street. I think 9th Street.
Yep, it is.
Right.
Where the hell are we going now? Back where we came from?
Mm-hmm.
I have to guide you through here, okay? I want to show you this. So you can learn something. You remember that time we had a fit because they had this stuff hanging? This is the thickness and the makeup of the... Yeah, I got you by your shoulder because we're holding up the traffic. The cables that hold up the phones and stuff.
Yep. What is that?
That's what it is. Oh, to the right?
No, that I'm holding.
It is. It's a piece of the cable,
Oh.
which is made out of aluminum core with a rubberized thing. All right, we need to fix up a lot so we can get over. Good?
Yeah.
I need to urinate, man. Okay, I need you to the shoreline on your left, Joe. Okay. You can move fast. Feel for the edge of the...
This is kind of a desolate area.
Yeah. There's an old dilapidated building that they use for parking.
How big is it?
Not very big, maybe 12 parking lot? Maybe 9.
So we can't use it for housing for blind people?
Nope. However, that's a very big piece of Mecklenburg County property here that could be perfect for making homes for blind folks.
And be a good location too.
Yeah.
Huh?
So the really big
Don't really know that
See that crane? At that time, we didn't have near as many of these high rises. There were 13 cranes like that. Right there. Everywhere. Everywhere. They were built for museums and high rises, everything.
They still are.
1 year later.
They still are, yeah.
Well, yeah, but that was in 2008. And everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then they finally started all the buildings were halfway built.
Oh, we used to drive through here in 2020 during the lockdowns, and there was like no one there. It was creepy. Huh? Mm-hmm.
Being very careful when you turn to the front of you. You get shoreline right here. And remember there's people behind you. It's not a good time to come on near them.
Well, it's actually not a good time to shoreline because I've never done this, so. Where are we?
I think we're going to the old Sears building.
How big is the old Sears building?
Wider than your building, the front of your building.
Blind people can use that too, huh?
Blind people can do what?
Use that for housing too. We got a lot of stuff around here that they have a lot of stuff around here that I'm sure their owners wouldn't mind letting go.
We gotta get here so you can hear.
Yeah, and I gotta change my implant batteries.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll be quick.
We got a few folks that are coming in, but as they're coming in, I wanted to let everybody know that we are at our last stop. We have gotten you about halfway back to where our starting point is. So if you're worried about a pickup, our goal is to get you right back as soon as possible. So we may sort of do this one really quickly, but we have a special performance by Annie that's going to end us up here. While she's on her way, I just want to tell you how much I have enjoyed this and how much this group has meant to me. In your presence here today. We didn't get to see everything because the awesome thing is that you guys are really engaged in what we were talking about. And that makes so much.
You want my cane so I can change my batteries?
That means so much
What?
to me.
I
All right,
hold my cane.
we're at our last piece, and
it.
let's do it.
Alrighty. So this piece is called Equity by Nick Napolitano. A female artist walks past the word equity printed in large scale in the background. The piece is painted on a red brick wall and measures roughly 20 feet high by 50 feet wide. Let's start with the background. The word equity is illustrated in the style of a colorblindness test. The image is created with densely painted circles of solid colors in two primary color schemes, ranging in size from a few inches in width to about 1 foot. The background color scheme is cool blues, pale seafoam, crisp mint, sky blue, and deeper teal. The word equity looks like a handwritten script and is detectable based on the contrasting warm and pink and purple toned circles which make up the individual letters. Pale carnation pinks, bubblegum pinks, rich berry, and deep plum. Moving on to the woman walking from right to left in the foreground of the image. Due to the perspective, she stands nearly as tall as the full height of the mural. She is captured mid-stride and is obviously an artist carrying the tools of her trade. A paint roller on a long pole is slung over her shoulder, creating a long line parallel to the ground. In her other hand, she carries a bucket of paint, bold blue paint sloshed over the sides of the can. A long trailing drip of paint connects from the end of the paint roller to the open paint can. The woman is of light complexion, but her skin looks like it might be tanned from summer sun. Her hair is light brown with streaks of lighter blonde pulled up into a messy bun at the back of her head. The sleeves are rolled up on her denim jacket, covered in smears and splotches of yellow, red, and pink paint. She has on bright sunshine yellow pants, which have the snug fit of skinny jeans. The pants are cropped a few inches above her ankles. On her feet are white combat boots similar to those of Doc Martens. The woman's face is turned away from us and points toward the background. Her expression is hidden, leaving us to wonder what response she might be having to the image before her. Finally, a detail that is not apparent at first is in the bottom right corner of the background is a small silhouetted back of a man in a suit. His coloring of muted asphalt grays that make him appear vague and nondescript. He holds a paint roller of his own and has begun covering the Equity mural with vertical swipes of flat gray paint.
I don't know that I need to add anything to that.
Right.
That was awesome.
I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
I can't see all of it, but is it like letters?
Uh-huh. Yeah. So from that audio description, there's very, very large equity written in the back of the mural. And I got a chance to see the artist Nick Napolitano working on this in 2018 for the Talking Walls Festival. This is the largest mural that we are talking about on the tour. It covers the entire side of this building. So if you can sort of imagine the scale, something that Bree talked about in the earliest beginnings. What does that gray man represent for you? You knew I was going to ask you that.
Somebody who doesn't like it.
Yeah. I think a good piece of art gives you the question a little bit of the answer, because the audience, they don't like to be on the outside of an inside joke, but they do like to feel like they're kind of connecting the dots. LOL, because this piece is made of a lot of dots. On something. So I think, from the description too, she's like a banker maybe, like with a suit on. So it's maybe a discussion between like the haves and the have-nots, or those who are like trying to make Charlotte more gray and dull versus the artist. He's a man, she's a woman. The equity and discussion, like you can't read it if you have a certain like color blindness. So about ability and non-ability, I think that you can make the parallel where most makes sense, that there are people who are trying to make subtle change and there are people who are trying to stop it.
Yeah. Annie, Samantha, if you want to share. First of all, while Annie is coming up here and Samantha is going to give her the microphone, you guys, I want to give a real big hand of applause. Come back here, Bree. Where are you going?
Yeah, Bree.
Why are you leaving us like that?
You guys, it is the reason that I bring an artist on board is because they add so much.
Right.
And hearing from this artist today, learning about how she works and the things that she finds meaningful in her work and can apply to others is really fantastic. So thank you for being part of our group today. And Annie, I know you've been waiting for this moment because she's so amazing. Annie is going to close us out, and then if we have a chance, we might do a group picture, and that would only entail us turning one way to face the photographer, so I'll give you some clues about that. But Annie, please close us out.
Okay, first of all, I like to see by the clapping of hands how many people appreciate what we were able to see today. I think with a little bit of this piece, they were talking about how people look at different things, and we all know, being from those of us who are from the visually impaired and blind community, how people look at us sometimes. They even lie on our ability by using the word liability.
Come on now.
Sometimes they do a disservice, or they, in my words, somewhat disrespect our ability by adding DIS to the word ability, making the word disability.
Yep.
So this is my encouragement to you. I want you to dump that dis and show off your ability. When you diss me, you miss me. Then you don't know who I am. All you know is that I'm female, because I answer to man. When you recognize I'm different and realize I can't see, you're so busy looking that you're not feeling me. Just because I'm blind, you assume I live in the dark. You'll never know the flame I am because you don't notice my spark. Like a reader skimming only the cover of a book, you'll never know my story without a real in-depth look. Seeing only what I can't instead of what I can do, you're missing out on things that I have to offer you. So, when you diss me, you miss me. Then you don't know who I am. All you know is that I'm female, because I answer to man. Adding DIS to my ability, you're selling me short. I might be a writer, own a business, or even play a sport. But if you can't see past my so-called disability, then you'll never find I'm funny, intelligent, and not just some person who's blind. So when you see a person with a so-called disability, be careful what you do. For the reality of the matter is, they're a person just like you. And let me leave you with this thought. Remember Annie Burr said, sometimes one's so-called disability lies only in another person's head. So, when you diss me, you miss me. Then you don't know who I am. All you know is that I'm female because I answer to man.
Wow, that gave me chills.
Yep.
Thank you, Eddie.
Oh my goodness, I can't talk. You left us speechless, and we appreciate you so much. So, Andrew, where would you like? Okay. If we, actually, what would be the best way?
Should we everybody just kind of turn with your back towards the mural?
Yeah.
We can.
The mural, this way?
Yep. So if you just turn
Yeah.
completely 180, do a 180.
Stand there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good. Okay, closer together. Closer together.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Closer together. Where's Annie? Come on, Annie.
Sorry to whatever I just tripped on.
What's catty corner?
There we go. Sorry. Pardon me. Right behind. Yeah.
A little bit to the right. Good? Thank you.
Cheese. Burger in paradise.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Woo! All right, you guys have been awesome. This is the end of our tour. I have a little bit of water left if you need it. Get your guide, Mary. I'll be there with you just a second, and we'll head back to 7th Street on the rail trail.
Teddy.
Sound good? All right.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Teddy.
Okay, Mary. Okay, I'm back.
Teddy.
Tell me how you.
Theodore.
I gotta be back
All
up
right,
here
you're
later.
gonna head back the way we came.
Joey, that's you?
Yeah, then we ride the bus together. It's the Fat and the Fabulous.
I was getting ready to say, I thought I'd be haunted by you 3 days. Now it's another day? Lord have mercy. Hello, Joey.
I'm the CNA.
I'll see you Monday. Who's that, the father?
I'm the CNA, Daddy.
Oh, he talks about you all the time, sir.
Oh, thank you.
He does more interviews than I ever got in my life, this young fellow.
What kind of stuff you say?
Oh, good things.
No, the gentleman in the back.
He keeps us laughing.
Yeah.
He keeps us laughing. When I sit next to him,
He's a funny man.
next to you when I got up and left, this I ran away from me.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
He's funny. All right, sir. It was nice to meet you, sir.
Nice
Good to meet you, Daddy.
Bree. I'll see Bree again before I go.
It's going all right. How's it going for you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
I've had you guys for a while because I actually have macular degeneration, which is rare for somebody my age. So I've done a lot of work raising money for people. So I did this exhibition called To Be Seen and Celebrated, where I painted 100 eyes, and people could buy one in honor of, in celebration of someone, and it ended up being 96 people and 3 dogs and 1 goat because they wanted to commemorate.
A goat?
And so if you can imagine a bunch of eyes on panels on a wall, you know, I was like, I'm tired of doing murals, I want to do little things. And then you put all 100 of the little things up, it becomes a mural. Yeah. You know, like, oh wow, it's still a full wall.
Curry goat and red stripe beer is good. Hold on, Joe. She's talking.
Neighbors at Brook Hill Village, which is a gentrified neighborhood across from where my studio used to be, and I was just close with those neighbors. And then the money from that, I created what's called the Brook Hill Vision Fund. So people got corrective lenses, eye exams, and then we made got them there. So like Ubers or bus passes for the neighborhood. So I always try to practice person-to-person giving, and like as somebody who grew up with the condition that I have, like I have like really specialized corrective lenses in now that are like super expensive, and like I'm grateful that I can afford them now, but when I was growing up I couldn't. So, and that's very interesting as a visual artist. And then also there's the threat that I might lose my sight, and you know, so that's something that is, as a person who paints, it's like an interesting, I mean, what do you do, right? You just keep keep going.
You can come hang out with us every
Yeah,
day.
yeah, it's a good group. So anyways, I think because of the work that I've done with the Association for the Blind, and then just Anne just being like the most amazing, wonderful person.
Yeah.
She was like, I think I know who I'd like to ask to come on this. So yeah. But yeah, it's just my name. It's Bree Stallings, Bree. Yeah, the top one. Yep.
I've definitely heard you before on the news, actually.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, he was on the news. I can't remember which one. I can't remember if it was 36 or Queen City News.
Oh yeah, I got interviewed Monday.
Oh, wow.
So maybe
You see that dude over there? I see gray hair in the back of his head.
Oh, so young versus old. You think that's the juxtaposition?
Well.
That's
Here's the thing.
dinosaur speaking.
Young versus old. We're still full of crap. So, Bree,
Nice to meet you, Joey.
it was wonderful meeting you.
Thank
Do you like hugs?
I would love a hug.
Thank you. How old are you?
I am 32. Almost 33. I'll turn 33 on Tuesday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah. Aries, baby. Nice to meet you, too. Nice. It's a blessing to get older.
Turn 70,
Oh, it
you
is.
said?
Huh?
Turn 70?
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's a huge milestone.
Oh, yes, it is.
That's awesome.
Where's Robin?
Everybody's moving, though. Everybody's on the sidewalk. So we're going back to Tryon and going towards trade.
You know what I would love to do?
What?
I'd love to go down College and cut across Trade so I can see Trade and Tryon.
Oh, Joey.
What?
It has to be complicated, don't it?
Well, today it does.
Joey?
Yeah?
I'm not gonna go there. Good. All right, Giuseppe. I think this is college.
Ninth in college.
It's Tryon is over there on the right.
Huh? Oh. I think this might be Brevard. I don't think it would be Brevard because, we gotta be home in 2 hours. Yep.
Tryon is it, so this has got to be
College.
I gotta get to that place. Take me a person.
Oh, yeah. What's this building?
Right here. Let's go to Ellis.
Oh. Oh, I've heard of it. That's where that is. Ninth and College.
Yep.
East Ninth and North College.
Yep.
It's an apartment building.
Yep, it is. It is that.
Huh? Oh, a Hilton Hotel. That's a, yeah. Don't say Homewood Suites by Hilton.
I didn't see it. Probably there, but that don't mean that I saw it.
And I definitely didn't see it.
Yep.
Huh? What is this?
So if we keep on walking here, are we going to intersect?
No. We get to trade before Monarch Market. Or after Monarch Market, so we wouldn't hit it.
Where do we need to turn right?
We're headed west along 9th Street. Are we not? So we need to cross Tryon and turn left.
All I can tell you is Tryon is on our right.
Well, we need to go down Tryon towards the Bank of America building, and we need to keep the buildings on our right.
We need to turn on Tryon?
Yes.
Well, we can. We know how to intersect Tryon.
What is this?
We're parallel to Tryon and to the
rail trail?
Yeah.
So we're on College, aren't we?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, we're on College. Oh, we're gonna turn right at Trade Street.
That's what I thought. And then we hit that side door.
Yeah, there's only one entrance to the whole market. This building.
Huh?
What's this building?
Church. First United Presbyterian Church.
Wow. Not First Art Presbyterian.
No, no. What do you see? The arcs with the stone.
Yep. Construction. Construction.
Yeah, I got it, please.
Seventh in College. It is 7th.
I'm pissing on myself.
It is 7th because it's very busy and fast. We're in the heart of Uptown again. Yep. I hear people raving about that club, but it's people that don't like the clubs I like because they're too crowded. This is the entertainment board. Yep.
Hey, how are you?
And since we're going south, we gotta take.
All right.
No, that's west. We have to take a left. So
Tryon is going to the right, no?
Yeah, that's right. I thought I don't know why it sums up with me. I thought we were on church for whatever reason.
The only reason I know Tryon is the right.
What's this building on the right?
The bank building. Don't hold people. Everybody's a woman. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. There's a big building.
Tryon Center. Hey.
Ah. Oh, I can't believe they still have the chirper APSs here. Those are dangerous. North College in East Trade.
There's no sign.
Yeah, there might be. Like Brad. Some playing on the radio over there.
Huh?
I didn't know that building had a speaker. That's a damn chirper. Those things are dangerous. Yeah. Well, because you don't cross them like you would a real.
No, I could have known that was not. By not seeing the rails.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you know what? I don't hear the rails. It probably is a trade street.
This one, I can see it. It's a
What's this building?
good, good.
What's this building?
Okay. So, do we go to Founders Hall?
No. Yep.
That's what the place is?
No, it's 101 North Tryon.
Yeah, but didn't we have to go through the side of it?
No, we went through on Tryon. It was the last door on the left.
You mean you got to walk some more?
Just a little bit.
You don't get it, do you?
You know, being on a bouncy STS bus for 2 hours having to pee with something awful has kind of skewed my perception.
Really?
Yes.
I had 45 years. There's the halal cart. Is it on the side of the halal cart?
No, it's on the other side.
Fuck, Joe. I could have gone across. And they still have all that stuff blocked.
There's the fountain.
Yeah. Oh, that's not around. So is it on the side of the halal park or across the street?
Across the street.
And we enter from where? Trey?
No, Tryon.
101 North Tryon, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the only door is look for the last door on the left.
Okay.
Very busy today.
Eddie V's. It's on that side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a bunch of stuff going on. There was a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's Charlotte South.
Yeah?
Yeah. Huh? I got something with my team. Huh?
Here's the cost. We have to borrow money. Let's ask the security man. Hey, you know, I got myself lost. He knows where it's at, but I don't. We're trying to get into that. What's the name of the place?
Monarch Market.
Yeah, we're trying to get into the market where they have all the restaurants. You know where the entrance is?
It's in that bar.
It might be that building right there. They got restaurants.
It's in that bar.
That says One Independent Center. Is
Yeah,
that
that's it.
Well, how come we're all the way out on the other side of the road?
Because they're not on the other side of the road.
Yeah, because they got a lot of restaurants inside there.
Okay, thank you, sir. Joe?
Huh? You gotta go in through the bar.
Oh, that's right. You have to go on the left. I don't have time for any more time for this. Forget behind you.
Behind. I think it's close to Curry Gate, I think. Or the dumpling shop.
Curry, here. You got the credit cards and your ID and everything?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna park you over here. Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Can you tell me where the bouncer went?
I got 100. Can you see?